And we've got beautiful conditions here in Adelaide to get our Boost Mobile Top 10 shootout underway. Under a clear sky. The wind, however, is built up from the southwest between 20 and 30 kilometres an hour as our very first runner of the Top 10 rolls out onto the racetrack. And it is Kai Allen. He'll be in car number 26 for Penrite Racing, and what a story it's been so far in 2025 for this 20-year-old from Mount Gambier. Hooks it through there with a mid-corner min speed of 210 kilometres an hour. Gorgeous footwork, beautifully synchronised downshifts, down to second gear for the right-hander at turn 9. He's done a 27.6 in the first sector. He's done a 20.1 in the mid-sector. And he's trying to vault himself further up the field beyond the 10th that he qualified earlier in the day. 13 and 14 are a giant challenge. Easy to lock a right front brake into this final corner. And he's got it in there nicely. It was right on the teetering edge under brakes. No slide on the exit. It's a good, decent lap. Resulting in a 20.7. And that's a nice job for Kai. He's vastly experienced for a young guy. He's only 26 years of age, but he's done a lot of international racing in the Mercedes-AMG program, and he's cut his teeth in junior categories here and made a big name for himself. He's a thorough gentleman, a hard-working athlete, and he is a fast racing driver, and he's got his lap underway. The thing's on the slide a bit in the rear through 4 and 5. He's chasing the car pretty hard, and right now we get our first read, and it is faster by a 10th than Kai Allen in the first sector. He's grabbed it by the throat, he's into it.
He's had to change the brake bias too. We saw him do that brake bias change on the way up from 3 to 4. Little tweak now into 8. And this is a really highly committed part of the racetrack through there. Fastest corner on this layout. Can he get it stopped? Back to second slot. Gets it through there well. Comes out of there with hardly any wheel spin, but he was a little bit slower in the middle sector than what Kai Allen is. The cumulative number is almost exactly the same if you add those two numbers up.
Better in the first sector, slightly slower in the second sector. The numbers that we're seeing at the moment have got him right on target to challenge the lap time that was achieved by Kai Allen that preceded him. Pulls gears efficiently now to the control line, and does he step over it? Not quite. He misses out by 1/100th of a second, and that's to be applauded. His very first shootout lap. Got it nicely to the apex. Gentle progression of the throttle in the mid-corner to get him back to peak percentage. Out the other side, that's 850 degrees. Those front brakes are roaring with temperature at the stop down there as he plucks a gear. Second to third through turn 10. This is the left-hander where Jaden gave the fence a little rub, but he's nicely out the other side.
And fastest in the middle sector also too, Neil. To the best cumulative number we've seen so far, a 47.63. So can he get it stopped for the final corner? He does. A little bit of understeer, and then it winds itself into a bit of wheel spin and a little slide. He uses the exit curve, and he does a 20.39. Up by 0.37.
80-odd seconds on the line here, trying to stitch together 14 turns and 3,200 metres of perfection in search of a Boost Mobile pole. Off to a good start through the first chicane. Neatly under brakes into the right-hander for turn 4 at Wakefield Street. 5 hooks it up and over the curb. Out of this next right-hander, he dragged it on the Reveliner in second gear here. We get our first indication as to whether this one's lighting up, and it is.
Good.
It's a 27.3. It's comfortably faster than anybody else in the first sector as Mostert now plucks gears on the run to 8. Listen to this thing howl. Into the throttle early through turn 8. And barrelling down into the right-hander at 9 from 240 odd Ks to 65 kilometres an hour in the mid-corner at 9.
This is a great lap. Fastest in the second sector also. His cumulative number is a 47.3. That's going to be 4 or 5 tenths better than anything we've seen so far. If you can get the car stopped, up and over the curb at 13, pulls it up, squirms its way under brakes, gets it stopped, gets to the apex, lights the throttle up, uses the outside curve as a burn, runs it down the left-hand side to minimise the distance, and does a 19.98. Wow, 4 tenths faster.
Popular reaction in the grandstands here in Adelaide for Chaz Mostert with that one. Had a second row start in Tasmania earlier in the year for a career best, 4th in quali. Can he improve on that today? Stopping it efficiently at the last corner is key. He's got all the load on that left front tyre, and it understeered ever so slightly. Did that cost him to any degree? Chasing Mostert, where does he drop in? And he's right in behind him, just 0.1 of a second behind. That is a very impressive lap by Macaulay Jones. Chaz survives, but Jones splits Mostert and Brown. Breezes right up against the concrete wall on the exit of turn 11. 27.5 in the first sector is just a couple of tenths away, but the money number in the middle was right there. He was right with what was achieved by the best in category so far in this session. Up to the line, sticking through the gears, drops in behind his teammate, position 3. So not a bad lap. That mid-sector was strong for him.
It certainly was, but that last sector was the fastest for everybody so far.
But you know what? It's still only a tenth away from the best number we've seen in the mid-sector. He's right in amongst it in the final corner. He was on target at the last one. This could also be about tyre temp and pressure, getting them just right at the end. Watching Mostert on the left. Where does he drop in? Into position number 2. A big final sector there for Anton. The fastest that we've seen so far. He was right on the money in that final corner, and he's in there by 1/100th of a second. He got a little bit of the inside curb and a bounce going through turn 8 that time, Matt Payne. But the mid-sector is the best that we've seen. Is this going to be enough to be able to grab a provisional pole? Through turn 10, the little kink, back to second gear for the left-hander, hooks it up and over the curb, mindful of the wall on the right, gets out the other side without a slide.
Fastest through turn 8. That was a remarkable run through the fastest corner there. Real commitment and the best cumulative number we've seen so far.
One corner to run here for Matt Payne. He's going to challenge Mostert and Di Pasquale. Chaz dare not blink as he makes his way to the line. And Payne to the top now on a 19.7 by a hefty margin. 0.2 of a second stronger for Matt Payne in the Mustang.
That was a great lap by the young Kiwi.
On the run down to turn 1, but perhaps the most important lap of the year for him.
He didn't come onto the straight that well. He missed the apex at the last corner, and he was a little wide coming out of turn 14 to commence the lap. That may have hurt him. A little bit of understeer there also on the way into turn 4. So he got through turn 1, 2, 3 really nicely, but it didn't turn at the corner with the normal agility, the normal amount of front grip that you would see. It's still good enough to be slightly faster than everybody else so far. 27.2 is almost a full tenth of a second better than anybody in the top 10 shootout.
18 pole positions in 2025. 20 times he's been on the podium. A nice flowing run through the right-hander at turn 8, and the best number that we've seen. The lap is gluing together nicely. Makes the marks at the right-hander down here at turn 9. Glides it up on the slide on those Dunlop soft tyres up onto the edge of the curbing. He's trying to put together perfection. There's enormous pressure. He is a student of the sport. He works at 24/7, 365 into the final corner now for Brock Feeney. All of the teams staring at the micro data, looking at the micro sector information out of the final corner. A little bit of wheel spin. Does he climb over Matt Payne for the fastest time? Yes. He's done a 1 minute 19.6. He's got 1/10 up his sleeve. He's been fast all weekend, and in fact, a couple of the teammates are going to be key figures in the story this afternoon because Matt Payne's up there as well. Out of the final corner with a bit of a slide on in second gear and a tiny bit of wheel spin. Does Feeney hang on, or does Wood get over him? Brock Feeney gets the pole. Ryan Wood into position number 3.